Hi, everyone. It is Sunday, March 6, 2022, and we're in the Q&A section of our Sunday Morgellons call. Our topic this week has been food-grade diatomaceous earth, but you guys can ask questions about anything that you want to that's on your heart. And so we're opening up lines one at a time to talk about that now.
Go ahead, Nick.
Hi, how you doing, Rich?
Good.
I've done quite well with the, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pronounce it right, diatomaceous earth. I've gotten it from the Tractor Supply House. It's a lifesaver for me. I use it all the time.
Great. Yeah, it's great. It's inexpensive and it's so flexible. You can use it for so many things, and it's so powerful, so effective. It's the first thing that everybody wants to really use.
It's like a lifesaver. I mean, for me, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, in my experience, it's like a lifesaver.
Right. Thank you. How are you doing, Nick? You got things?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. I'm hanging in there. I'm doing, a lot better from a year ago. I mean, you, Robin and Chris, you're such good people and good-hearted people, and you help me get back my life.
Well, we're glad to be here for you because we each know that it's not an easy task, and we're here to support you and to provide inspiration so you don't give up and you do get it right, and you keep coming back and asking as many questions as you possibly can until we get you on that path and you are successful. Thank you, Nick.
Absolutely.
Keep coming back. Okay, here's a question to me. When you were on ORAP, that's Primazod, it's a medication that I went to after I had gone to perhaps a dozen physicians and got no answers, I happened upon an old-timer dermatologist who actually happened to be next door to my office in Red Bank, New Jersey. I don't know why I didn't go to him first, but and he, rather than discounting me as many doctors did, he had shared with me an experience that he had learned about at a 4-H summertime where they did an exhibit, and the tent that they brought the straw into, the straw was infected with mites, and everybody came down with the mites, and he learned that they prescribed Primazod, which is a medication typically and generally used for dealing with Tourette syndrome. This is a Tourette syndrome, if you're not familiar with it, is people afflicted with it. They're very intelligent, they're very normal, they're high-functioning people, but at any minute they can just blurt out cuss words, and, totally non sequitur. All right, so Primazod is a medication that has helped these people bring this under control. The criticism often of my program is that I mention the use of this medication, and only because it worked with me. And in the family practice notebook that is also listed in the book, in chapter 6 of my book, it is said that people who are suffering from delusions of parasitosis, that the psychiatrist or medical doctor is supposed to prescribe Primazod. I think 1 milligram twice a day, I think is what the dosage is. So in other words, from the doctor's mindset, these organisms or the symptomatology is psychosomatic, meaning of mental origin, and not of physical, organic origin. And of course, they prescribed the Primazide for that purpose. Now, the dermatologist I went to didn't prescribe it for that purpose. That is a mental. He prescribed it because he learned that it was useful with the people that were exposed to these mites in this 4-H exhibit, and it helped them get better. And it helped me get better. It helped me to move from stage 1 of the diet to stage 2 of the diet. So I guess for about maybe 20 years, I've been somewhat persecuted by people who read this and misinterpret my intentions or what is being said. It's very much like they don't bother reading the words. They just jump to conclusions. Oh, you agree with the doctors that it's a psychiatric problem and that we should be on psych? No. We have since learned that these medications, in fact, there are about 11 of them listed in Chapter 6 of the book. These medications also have another thing that they do. They all are instrumental in reducing dopamine uptake in the brain. Now, there is a study that has been released that finds that by reducing dopamine uptake in the brain, and they use Primazide for this study, that the parasitic activity is greatly diminished. Exactly what we've been saying, okay? It's organic, not psychological, all right? So over the years, many people have used one or more of the medications. I have used it on several occasions to get myself either to make the diet kick in or get from stage 1 to stage 2. So this is the question. When you were on ORAP, did you feel worse when you stopped taking it? What happened? I'm having everything return after stopping those meds. Well, I remember having been on ORAP for, I don't know, probably a year or so, and then I had no symptoms. I was on stage 2. I never went to stage 3, but I was happy as heck to be on stage 2. And after about 6 months, the symptoms did return, and I was reinfected again, and it started all over again. And I was of the impression that I'd have to be on Primazide forever and ever and ever, because of this. Well, looking back, our diets get a little more, we get more adventurous in what we eat, and I'd probably say it's probably because I really was straying away from the diet. And we know that when you stray away from the diet for a period of time, you're going to have a problem. So it's hard to tell a definite yes or no that it has to do with this, or maybe simply straying away from the diet for a period of time. So I don't have a definitive answer, but what I do know is that since then, we no longer are dependent on ORAP or Primazide or any medication that can be called psychiatric medication. Our herbalist, Barbara, has come up with an herbal Parasite stop formula, which is phenomenal. It has a collection of herbs in it that actually also do the same thing to reduce dopamine uptake in the brain. And as Robin has often said, that all of you are my research team. And how did we get into this? Well, a couple of years ago, I remember her first name. I don't know if she's still in the program or what, but she read this, and her name was Olga, and she said, well, have you looked into herbs to do the same thing these medicines do? Which triggered a little light bulb, discussion with our herbalist, and we have the Parasite stop formula. So that helps as well. Personally, I've been on stage 3 for probably a year or so. And that is, I eat anything I want, anytime I want. However, about a month and a half ago, I got in the habit of, my wife was bringing home strawberries, and, I hate to see strawberries go to waste, so I'd have a strawberry every day or two, or one or two strawberries with oatmeal or something, and it did cause a resurgence of Springtails. And for the most part, the Parasite Stop formula is wonderful. It helps bring things down to a level, and I'm in a phase where I'm managing it. So you can never be totally rid of them yourself. Never. There's no cure. You're always susceptible to them. It's simply knowing what tools to use, and that you have the ability to use these tools to manage them and get rid of them once again. Robin, you've gone through a similar thing, right?
Yes. Yes, I did. Pimicide was a lifesaver for me. My house was so infested, and I couldn't get the diet to kick in. I think it was because my house was so infested, but I started on Pimicide, and it was almost like I became invisible to the parasites, and the diet kicked in, and I was able to attack my environment without getting attacked back. And I was on it for about 4 months. I gradually ramped up the dosage when I started it, and I did the same thing when I ended it, gradually ramped down the dosage to minimize side effects. And it made me very slow, and everything slowed down. My thoughts, my driving, my walking, my singing.
You were down to 10 miles an hour.
Everything got a lot slower.
Get out of the way, Robin. Get out of the way.
Only time in my life I ever drove the speed limit. But, but it was really helpful. It was.
Well, have you tried the Parasite Stop formula?
No, but I'm very interested in it because right now my house is reinfested, and I'm in a battle. So I might call Chris about that.
Yeah, definitely. 3 caps a day. They're big capsules, but 3 caps a day. It can make a difference. You see, that's the problem I have. Until this happened, I don't get to test any of these things. We bring them on based on what other people share and how it works, but personally, I haven't had a need to test anything. I sense that the Benefect disinfectant works better with Columbella than even the enzymes do. Just a suspicion, but I don't know. I really never get to test these things.
Right.
So,
well, I could definitely test the Parasite Stop formula because, I'm doing okay, but I started using a stronger insecticide, and because I thought I was done, and I just wanted to do it to finish, and then things got a lot worse. So,
oh, you made them angry.
Yeah, they got really angry. So yeah, I'll call the office tomorrow. I'll be a guinea pig.
Mary, have you had the experience of getting reinfected, or have you been using Pimicide or anything like that to help yourself?
Yes, I've used Wellbutrin, which I was on before this started, and I was on the long-acting, and recently I started taking it twice a day and realized that because I was having more of a problem in the afternoon, so I went off the long-acting, and now I'm just on the regular Wellbutrin, taking it twice a day, and that seems to be working better for me.
Great, yeah. One of the medications is also Abilify that helps reduce dopamine uptake. Abilify used for depression. And you can't have these organisms and not have a tad or a maximum amount of depression. So it's like 2 birds with 1 stone here when it comes to that, if you want to go the medical route as opposed to the herbal route. The good news is we have options now. We don't have to be medical route. We can go the herbal route as well. the object and the purpose is to get that diet to kick in, because when that diet kicks in, it's like a night and day difference. Night and day. Okay, thank you. Chris, you got somebody else?
Yeah, I have opened up Anna.
Hi, Anna.
Yes,
Anna,
hi, and again, I appreciate this lifeline. Is there a limit to questions that I can ask? Because I have, many questions here, but I want to be appropriate.
Well, we'll take, let's start with 2 and see how long they take, and we can always come back to you later if you have more.
Okay, certainly, thank you very much. Okay, the first question I have...
Richard?
Yes.
You have to give your FDA disclaimer.
Oh, thank you. Before you do get into that, Chris reminded me, this is very, very important. This program is for educational purposes only. The FDA requires me to inform every one of you that none of us are medical doctors. We are not here to treat, diagnose, cure, or mitigate any skin disease or any disease whatsoever. We're here to educate you. Before you start the diet, the King Diet, or accept any of our recommendations nutritionally or even bathing, I suppose, you discuss them with your doctor to make sure they're not going to interfere with any of your health problems. We can educate you how to use the diet for your benefit, how to clean them out of your skin, how to clean them out of your environment, and how to build health and immune functioning through the various targeted supplements that we recommend. So thank you, Chris. Yeah, okay, Anna, fire away.
Okay, the first question I have and the concern is I'm wanting to get another computer device, and there's a lot of information for refurbished computers and phones and whatever, and I wanted to share that with Maria too, because years ago, depending upon where one lives, some senior facilities give free computers to low-income seniors. So this is for Maria. But for me, in terms of the refurbished, I wanted your take on that, because online there's information that it can also be a contributing factor to mites. And so I wanted, to ask you about that, if I could, please.
Okay, well, I think you're referring to the electromagnetic contribution, and a lot of the stuff that we do, we talk about electromagnetics contributing to the activity of these organisms, and we recommend that, you do what you can to get rid of dirty electricity in your home. 5G complicates things. Now, you see, like I said earlier, Morgellons is basically pretty easy to get rid of in terms of utilizing boron and alkalizing your body. But it's all of the complications. If people write in and say, oh, well, I cured myself, I used kenazole cream, and that cured me. That doesn't cure Morgellons. And nothing cures Morgellons. It might have cured the skin fungus, and then hence once the skin fungus is gone, you got your life back. So electromagnetic radiation is just another component that we want to minimize as much as possible when we're dealing with these skin parasites, because they seem to thrive or become more active with the electromagnetic radiation. So for instance, cell phones. The best thing is to stay away from 5G if you can. We have a little thing that you can paste on the back of your cell phone, a shungite, which helps neutralize the waves, the electromagnetic effect from the cell phones. We even have things in our store like grounding blankets, wristbands to ground you, to help. Grounding is something we covered. So we have many other things that help build health and immune functioning. So as far as computers, until the diet does kick in for you and you have some progress, you're going to be active around any electromagnetic source, particularly laptops, since they're very close to you, televisions, or anything where you have an electric motor or some electronics operating because of the EMF they shed. It's not true for everybody. You know, it's a question on the questionnaire about EMF, and I'd say that maybe 15 or 20% of the people who complete the questionnaire do notice activity around electronics like laptops and computers, but not necessarily true for everybody.
Okay, thank you. Well, what about in terms of, there's data out there, people are saying that there mites can be, you know, within the refurbished devices. What is your, I mean, can you clean them out? I mean, aside from staying away from 5G, can you, the best you can, but it's very difficult nowadays with all the cell towers, but is there a way to clean a computer or smartphone?
I think the better question is hotel rooms. I mean, airplane seats, they can be anywhere. I mean, yeah, they can be, if the person who had your computer was infected with mites and organisms of this nature, yes, they could be in that computer. And your chances of taking an airplane flight and picking them up are probably equal. So if you purchase a used or refurbished device and you find activity when you're around it, well, it's either the EMF or maybe they are in it. I've not heard of that, but maybe they are in it. And as far as getting them out, I have no idea.
Can I interrupt for a second, Richard?
Yeah, just let me finish. The electrostatic sprayer may pass over it, may help deal with that. You don't want to make the laptop too wet because you'll ruin your keyboard, so you have to be very careful. Okay, Robin.
Yeah, I did have electronics that were infested with mites and springtails, and you can get rid of them. You can treat it with either Nuvon strips or menthol crystals. And what you do is you take the laptop or the iPad or even your cell phone, you put it in a Ziploc heavy freezer bag with either a Nuvon strip or menthol crystals, and you leave it for at least 2 weeks. And it'll kill anything in there. So if you were getting a used one, you could do that as a precaution.
Very good. Thank you, Robin. I hadn't thought about that, but that is an excellent suggestion. So if you do purchase one and you want to be proactive, put it in the bag before you even start using it with the Nuvon strips or the menthol crystals for a couple of weeks.
Excuse me, what did I missed what the first you said? It's new. I missed what you said about the strips.
Nuvan, is that how you spell it?
I'm sorry, Nuvan.
You get them on Amazon. They're a pesticide. You got to use rubber gloves.
They're a solid pesticide, and you can also get them at doyourownpestcontrol.com. Right.
Okay, do your own, but it's a lot safer to use the menthol crystals. But would the menthol crystals be equally as helpful, or
you still want to use rubber gloves for handling?
I'm sorry, excuse me. What was that?
You still want to use rubber gloves.
Okay, even with the menthol crystals. Okay.
Yeah, but you don't have to actually handle them. You can just take the pack, open it up, and dump a few out. You don't actually have to touch them, which means you don't have to. If you're touching them, use rubber gloves. Okay?
Okay, Rob. Okay, I appreciate this very much. Thank you so much.
So the difference is you can get the menthol crystals from our store if you're ordering something else. If you want to get the Nuvon strips, you're going to have to go elsewhere and go through the order process separately.
Okay, I appreciate it. Can I ask another quick question, or am I taking too much time? Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. I've been taking a lot of CBD. I have an issue with my circadian rhythms since the pandemic, since I've been sheltering in place for so long. That's a whole other conversation. But anyway, in terms of CBD, what I'm taking doesn't have much of the THC because it's not legal here in Georgia where I live. But I'm wondering if, some of the CBD tinctures have the MCT oil, which is a derivative of coconut oil, but what I'm taking has hemp oil. And, because I can't sleep. And so I wanted your take on that. And also, what you suggest for sleeping. Like I say, I sleep I can't really sleep very well, but I try to sleep during the day, and I'm up all night. It's real crazy, but anyway.
Well, has the diet kicked in for you yet?
Not yet. No.
All right. So
I have a lot of, I have a lot of issues here, environmentally. There's just so many things, that I have to do one step at a time. But I'm just, I'm trying.
You're wasting your time environmentally until you get the diet to kick in. The best you can do is keep things at bay. So your first goal is to make the diet kick in. Secondly, I have no idea about the CBD oils or, you'd have to do once you get the diet to kick in, then you'd have to keep a diary. And if you consume something, you just have to see how your body reacts to it or how the parasites react to it. I don't know anything about these different oils. I'll ask Robin in a moment and Mary if they have any experience, but personally I don't. So I don't have an answer there. Thirdly, there is a free program on, as I mentioned in the first part of this program. All of our information is free. There is a free YouTube video on sleep through the night where you can program your mind to sleep, your body to go to sleep. Yet the important thing is to get that diet to kick in. Anything you do is going to work better once that diet kicks in. And there's also a free Up From Depression program on YouTube that's available to you. These are resources that are free. But again, make that diet work.
Okay, thank you very much. Can I ask one real quick question? Can I answer? Can I comment on that first question? I would go on the assumption that any oil is going to not be good to ingest until the diet kicks in, and then you can slowly test it. But in terms of sleeping, there are drugs that you can get that are prescription that are listed in the book that actually help fight the parasites that'll knock you right out. But I found at my local Walgreens and at Walmart, I found a pill, a tablet that is 10 milligram. What do you call it? What is that? Darn, my mind just went blank. 10 milligrams. It helps you sleep. I forgot what it's called.
Maybe it'll come to you later, Robin. Okay, until the next person comes on, here's another question. I am taking an antibiotic, Zithromax, for an infection, and I want to take a probiotic with it to protect against yeast. The problem is that probiotics activate my Springtails, my columbella. Do you have any ideas? Well, Margaret. Well, Margaret is right on track here. Yes, she knows that probiotics are going to activate the yeast, and that's going to be a problem. Zithromax is one of the medications that I was on for Morgellons when I went to Dr. Bransfield. It was a combination of Zithromax, Biaxin, and Bactrim. Those three medications in rotation. So I don't know what the purpose is, particularly for Zithromax. It doesn't matter. But back then, Dr. Bransfield was prescribing the antifungal medication. I wasn't having any symptoms at all with their antifungal and the antibiotics. It was all that hell broke loose after I went off of all this stuff after 6 months. So to deal with possibility of fungal organisms, an old standby is Lufeneron. It's been I've been recommending it from 2006 when I first learned of it from somebody who swore that it made a difference, and since then I have many emails from people telling me how beneficial Lufeneron was to adding to their regime. Lufeneron is a medication, generally a pet medication. Every doctor in this country should be prescribing it, but they are far behind the 8 ball. And what it does is it inhibits the production of chitin. Chitin is a building block, like the mortar that holds the brick wall together for fungal organisms. So it inhibits the production of fungal organisms' future growth. It doesn't affect the present fungal organisms that are there, but it inhibits future growth of fungal organism. It also is used to inhibit the maturation of eggs laid by mites and these organisms. So the Fineron is number one. The recommended source is SHOP, S-H-O-P, the number 4, Morgellons.com. Dr. Luna and I have been working together for years to make sure that you get quality medications and they work. Like we get feedback from each other and know how effective this medication is. Secondly, in our store we have the antifungal pack. The antifungal pack has 2 supplements. One is a kinase enzymes, a collection of kinase enzymes. Now, we are dealing with chitin. Remember, that's like the mortar of the brick wall as for fungal organisms. So the kinase enzymes, once released in the body, break down chitin of existing fungal organisms. So the Fineron protects against organisms replicating, and the chitinase breaks down the existing fungal organisms. All right? And then we go one step further, and we have a supplement called calcium Dayclex. Now, calcium Dayclex does one more thing, and that is all fungal organisms have to get their nutrients from a root-like structure. Just like plants have roots that go into the ground and absorb nutrients, fungal organisms have a root called hyphae. The hyphae are a root-like structure that goes into your skin or into your tissue and absorbs the nutrients. The calcium Dayclex inhibits the production of future organisms, of fungal organisms, from producing hyphae. So we have a pretty rounded approach, a pretty effective approach for dealing with this approach. Of course, as I said before, I'm not a medical doctor, and that your doctor prescribed the Zithromax or whatever, and before you turn down his prescription for taking probiotics, you discuss it with him. Hey, how about Fineron, which he knows nothing about? How about calcium Dayclex, which he probably knows nothing about? How about kinase enzymes? Again, well, you'll have to, that's between you and your doctor. I'm only here to make recommendations in what we find.
Hey, hi. Okay, so I have a question. I've had Morgellons for, I don't know, I probably first contacted you like 7 years ago, and I've gotten it down pretty good to a livable level, but I have a question. At night, and this only happens at night, when I'm working at my desk in front of my computer, my head itches so bad some nights that it's like barely tolerable, and I was just wondering why and what I can use to help that itching. My doctor prescribed me gabapentin, and I don't know if you know about that, but I was just, trying to get some information from the expert, you.
Okay, great. Thanks for the question, Deborah. Number one, it's highly likely, have you gotten the diet to actually work, to actually kick in and work?
No, I haven't really been very faithful about the diet.
Well,
no,
that's what
I'm gonna say no.
Because all
so
that,
hard though.
That computer is just like litmus paper. It's telling me your diet isn't working, because if your diet isn't working, you are susceptible to EMF. And we talked about EMF earlier. EMF activates these guys. Once you make that diet work, you can be on that computer all day long and put your nose right in front of it, and you're not going to feel anything.
Can I ask you, why does this only really happen at night and not during the day? Because I'm on my computer 24 hours a day. I have my own business. But it doesn't happen during the day.
Circadian rhythms are different for everybody, so it may have something to do with that. And again, make that diet work. It may have to do with your eating habits at night. Are you snacking? I don't know.
I mean, it's so hard for me to be on that diet. I used to eat nothing but sugar all the time.
Bitch, it's a bitch.
It really is. I mean, I'm doing better just because I was eating fruits and vegetables, and I heard you couldn't eat certain fruits. I'm like, oh my God, I was doing it was so hard just to do that.
It's terrible.
So it's hard.
Well, it's easy to do the diet once because you stop itching, and it's so worth it. But I do have one suggestion about your computer, just like we talked. Because computers give off EMF waves that attract parasites, and what I did when it was really bad was I got the largest Ziploc freezer bag I could get. I think it's like 2.5 gallon freezer bags, and I put my computer in a Ziploc bag and worked through the bag because the computer was infested.
Really?
But they didn't get to me when I did it that way. Yeah, really.
Well,
so they're only awake at night then.
No,
but some parasites they're always awake.
I think it's your snacking. I think what you're snacking on at night is just making the issue worse.
Really?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Can I have one more question? I'm so sorry, but can I get one more? Okay, so I don't think you ever talk about this. I don't think it's in your book either, but I was wondering what your take is on magnetism as a cure, because I use, a magnetic vibrator on my head at night and then put another one going the opposite way, and it seems to make these things, something pop, and it stops the itching a little bit, and I just didn't know what you thought about that.
Well, I don't know a lot about magnetics. I know that there was a fellow, Michael Chappelle, who was touting some kind of magnetic device, and 15 years ago he was selling it for like $400, but nobody ever received it. He had a lot of complaints. If you want a true magnetic device, my thing is that they think they're about $4,000. I don't know where you get them, but I think they're European-based, whatever he was trying to do. I mean, people have said that they've gotten them putting magnets around their ankles or their wrists have helped to some degree.
Yes.
But it's a pig in a poke. I'd say make the diet work.
Right, I know. It's just, I'm just thinking, I'm just looking for an easy fix. And I know there's no easy fix. I know it's just that it's hard. But I know you're right. But I would look into magnetism because it does work for me. And Michael Chappelle, I got the idea from, but I went and got Subo magnetic massager for your head. And I got 2 going the opposite way. And they do work to an extent.
Let me say this. If the magnetics help you now, once you're on the diet, you'll be amazed how much they help. Okay?
Oh, really?
Magnify it by 10. All right?
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Okay, until we hear from Maria, here's another question. Hey, I ordered a ton of stuff. Does that stuff for the laundry really work on killing buggies? Should I still pre-treat with ammonia? Well, our laundry soap is the best in the world in terms of it being biodegradable, but again, you're only using one little capsule in a load of laundry, just like you use one little capsule in a bathtub. And it's not going to kill anything in your laundry. It's going to really deep clean the fibers. It's going to, really clean it well and be biodegradable, but you're still going to need to use something in Chapter 3. It's got all kinds of disinfectants from ammonia to borax to other things that you can use, even MMS, some people use that, miracle mineral supplement. So you're going to need to use something along with it. So the answer is yes, still pre-treat with ammonia. Robin came up with this approach, and I'll briefly share it with you. If you have difficulties with laundry, get a nice big tote about, 18 inches by 2 feet or so, something like that, about maybe 1.5 feet deep with a top on it. Put about 1 inch of ammonia in the bottom. Put in some of these empty egg crates on the bottom so that the liquid ammonia is under the egg crate. Put your clothing on top of that. Your clothing doesn't have to get wet. Cover it let it sit for hours, overnight if necessary, and the fumes will probably destroy anything that's in the laundry. Then launder your clothing, put in the disinfectants again, put it in the dryer, add in some ammonia, some peppermint on an absorbent piece of laundry, so that you're disinfecting the dryer too, and make sure there's nothing there. Take them out into, use rubber gloves if you're infected in the area of your hands. Put them in zip-lock bags, zipper bags. Put in some menthol crystals, store them away, and that's the ultimate when it comes to dealing with laundry. Anything to add to that? Did I get you pretty good, Robin?
Yeah, I think you did. I think that, you know, they have these, in terms of the egg cartons, they have these plastic egg cartons so that the ammonia, like if you use regular egg cartons, they get soaked and soggy.
Oh yeah, you don't want to use a cardboard egg carton. No,
right.
I was assuming everybody got plastic egg cartons today.
Yeah, no, yeah. So that definitely helps.
Great. All right. And I'm going to refer this one to you, Robin, and I didn't actually write back because I don't know the answer. Maybe I do, but I just haven't thought of it. Hello, Richard. I would like to know if there's something for vaginal discharge. I am going to order a pack of Life. I really think it works for me. I have mites, birds, ravens follow me everywhere I go. I never been so scared in my life, and there's always on time as this usual. Any suggestions? Well, first I say I think that this lady hasn't gotten a diet to kick in yet, but specifically for vaginal discharge, any suggestions there, Robin?
Well, I mean, honestly, I would recommend going to a gynecologist to make sure it's not some kind of infection, but because not everything is caused by Morgellons. And the other thing is that if there's itching and stuff, you can put the food-grade diatomaceous earth in your underwear and rub it on the, you know, your private parts, and it will help.
Great. Mary, you have any suggestions?
Yeah, I'm with Robin on going to the doctor. I know when I started taking baths all the time, I started having problems. I'm so sensitive to everything, and I ended up having to get antibiotics to get the infection to stop. And I'm certain it was from what I was using in the bath water, which was pool shock. Even just a teaspoon of it I reacted to, but without the antibiotics, I couldn't shake it. So that's something you really don't want to mess with too much.
Absolutely, I agree with both these ladies. Go to the doctor first, make sure there's not some medical thing going on, and then Mary brought up a good point. Some of these disinfectants that you use in the bath can be astringents. The goal with disinfectants is to find a perfect balance, the balance where the disinfectant kills most of the organisms but doesn't negatively affect you, doesn't irritate you, doesn't cause a problem. So if you're using, for instance, pool shock as a disinfectant, you might want to switch to apple cider vinegar, which would be probably much better if you're dealing with vaginal issues. Okay, great. Okay, is the next line open?
I have a couple questions. One is, it seems like, you know, I just recently started the program, and I'm trying to make the diet work. I'm using the diatomaceous earth and everything, but I'm having a tough time with my environment. It seems like, you know, right when I was doing really well, like yesterday, all of a sudden, I don't know, it's like maybe it's mites everywhere. And I, you know, I unfortunately have mites or something on my scalp, which makes it more difficult. But the environment has really been a tough thing to handle here. You know, the laundry tips were great, by the way, and I'll go to the book and see exactly how to do that. But do you have any advice?
The what is great, did you say?
The
laundry tips were great, because
okay, great.
And I also have a dog who seems to have mites on him now, but it's weird. It's like all of a sudden it's just like haywire, the mites.
Well, they can be miserable and they can be a real challenge, and the first thing is to simultaneously make that diet kick in so that you're not defeating your environment. Secondly, do you have an idea where they are mostly in your house? Is it around your sofa, your bed, in your garage, automobile? Do you have any idea where they are?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm staying with my parents actually, as I've been trying to get healthy, and like I said, new to the program. I'm finally kind of figuring out what's going on here. But they were all around the bed in their guest house, so I ejected from that room, and now in the inside or in the main house where it's totally clean and everything like that, and I don't think there's any on the bed, but all of a sudden there's all sorts of I was feeling bites or feeling like the kind of tinglies and stuff, and then my dog was reacting. And, you just have that sensation. It just seemed like last night I couldn't sleep.
What you're describing is that you brought them with you into the main house. Whether you brought them to where you were there before, I don't know. But we talked about diatomaceous earth in the first portion of this program. That's a good thing to start with, dusting your bedding. You want to be laundering your clothing daily. Maybe in the beginning you're going to change sheets twice a day. I don't know. I used to wake up at 3 a.m. and change my sheets. It was that bad.
Okay. Okay.
You're gonna.
The other thing is you have to get zippered vinyl mattress, box spring, and pillow protectors, and cover your mattress if it's infested now.
That's the first thing you want to do. Make sure they do not go through. I mean, these organisms are tiny. They can go through fabric and right into your mattress. So if they're in the mattress, you don't want them coming out. You want to close them in, throw in some menthol crystals after you zipper them up to keep them on ice, so to speak. Get rid of them eventually, and you're going to be treating that your sheets and every day. I would typically spray the mattress cover with the ammonia. I'd put the sheet on. I'd spray the sheet. I'd put the cover on, the top sheet on. I'd spray that. I'd put the cover on. I'd spray that layer by layer, and do it before you go to bed, and do it when you get out of bed, unless you're going to be laundering the sheets every day. So you want to be meticulous about that. You want to deal with the floor area because they're there as well, around the bed, under the bed, in the bathroom.
And you treat it with ammonia also, the diatomaceous earth and ammonia? And if there's a chapter, then I can just go refer to that too. Like I said, I'm new to the program.
You spread diatomaceous earth, you dust it, but you're going to be you can simply dust your sheets with diatomaceous earth. My experience was it was easier to spray ammonia than to dust the diatomaceous earth, but you can figure out what works best for you. Okay? There were many times I slept in diatomaceous earth. So, and eventually I found that spraying ammonia was easier to do than to deal with sheets and diatomaceous earth.
Right.
In the beginning, I would invert my clothing, my trousers, my shirts, and I would dust them with diatomaceous earth and then turn them right side out. Later on, I switched to ammonia and found it was easier to spray with ammonia and then turn them inside out and let them sit for 15 or 20 minutes until the fumes did their work and it dried out, and then wear them. So all this is in Chapter 3. It's a lot of work. You can speed things up if it's affordable with the electrostatic sprayer and using one of the disinfectants. We have a Metaclean, which is a chemical disinfectant. I wouldn't want to be spraying my sheets with that and sleeping on it. We do have a Benefect, which is an organic disinfectant that I would use on my sheets.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Really,
so keep coming back. It's a path. You're at the beginning of it. Give yourself a week to kind of get a routine down. It's like learning a new job. It's like getting a new job and learning it. It is like a different job. You wake up, I would wake up at 6 a.m., get in the tub for an hour, get out, shower off, get dressed, go through this routine with the sheets and with the clothing, and then go to work, come home around 4:30 or 5, get in the tub again for another hour, then have dinner, and then relax for a few hours, and then 11 o'clock back in the tub again, and then out. Of course, before I went in the tub, I sprayed my sheets and again to disinfect them. It's a routine. It's work. No shortcuts. You take one shortcut one day, and the whole thing is gone. All the progress.
Right.
This is why we're here.
And I'll follow up with mine.
We're here to let you know it's not easy, but it's doable. And when
I'll do my questionnaire.
You'll tell us that we saved your life, but we didn't. Yeah. You saved it.
That's wonderful of you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Keep coming back. Who's next?
I've been listening to your program and have your book for, I don't know, probably a year, maybe 2. It's just, I don't want to admit it's been that long. But this last week, I believe, just the outbreak that's going on is nasty. And 2 days ago, I did put Diatomaceous in my sheets because I did that a while back, and I sprinkled it all over my floor because I was desperate.
Oh, put it in your shoes.
And, pardon me? Oh, everything. I mean, that's and I do have the electrostatic sprayer I purchased for me, but I have not taken it out of the box because I should just bag everything in the room, that's clothing, I guess, and do the crystal whatever or ammonia, and then spray the thing. I'm, afraid of books or matches using it. I don't know how it works.
What works? The electrostatic sprayer?
Yeah. I mean, it's right there in front of my face, and I'm not using it.
Oh, my God. Just put some...
I know.
Just aim it and spray it. In 1 second, you cover a 4-foot area. It's gone. It's handled. No more. As far as books go, you're going to do the books, you're going to need to get, we covered this before, but you're going to need to get a special bag. You put the books in, you put them in the oven at 250 degrees for a few hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll be done. Okay. For now, I could just get them out of here and then spray the sprayer.
Right, but if you put stuff in bags and it's not airtight, they don't die. And they'll just get out. It has to be, if you're going to use like heavy-duty garbage bags, then it has to be duct taped shut, and it has to be at least 3 to 4 ply thickness, like leaf bags. Or you can use freezer bags, Ziploc freezer bags, or big Ziploc bags that you can get on Amazon. But if you just put stuff in a bag and tie it shut, they're just going to get right out again.
Thank you.
Yep, zipper lock bags are best. Okay, anything else?
Oh, well, a million things, of course. I'm just in a mess. I've just rubbed Diatomaceous earth all over my arms. It seems to help.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm eating an onion. Oh, boy.
We use Diatomaceous earth in our Super MSM gel.
Yes, I have that. I've been using it. That's what I've gone to in the last 2 days. I've been using it, thinking it might, but that's been my go-to the last couple of days.
Yeah, just shake it up because it settles to the bottom. Shake it up and apply it.
it's clear. I have an older bottle and it's browner. Does it matter?
Well, one is super MSM gel and the other is regular MSM gel.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay. Now,
the super MSM gel has the Nature's Gift and the Diatomaceous Earth, whereas the regular has just MSM in it.
okay, I get it. And I'm ordering more tomorrow. And also your information that I'm just so itchy and icky right now. I can't retain anything. I listened to your show last week, and here I'm looking at lesions. My ankles are swelling. I'm like going, what is happening? Well, I can't stop itching, but I do pretty well. But still, so anyway, I did the MSM, and I think it is very beneficial. Obviously, something's helping me. And the diet's going to kick in because I was bad and didn't do it properly.
Yeah, focus on that diet. Make it kick in. I mean, I don't know how many hundreds of people have come to this program, played around with the diet for a couple of days, and got no results, and went off. And what do? They go to Facebook and say, well, I tried the diet. That crap doesn't work. Bullshit. Make it work. It works. We know it works.
I did it relentlessly for a while, and I thought, I feel so good now. I'm normal. Right. Wrong. Excuse me. Don't go off the diet, you fool.
Right.
That's what it amounts to.
Yeah, the organisms don't care what we think about the diet.
No, and I believe I know I have Candida. I know I have Springtails probably. My skin is just shedding. I mean, I've got just dry skin peeling off.
Well, let me ask you, do you have distension of the abdominal area, distension?
It's just come on in the last couple of weeks, yes.
Does it feel like the food just doesn't want to digest? It just lays there in your stomach?
I don't know about that.
Okay, well, that's how Candida is in the worst, in a bad situation. There's a whole segment in the book about Candida, but
okay.
You may want to adjust the diet if you are certain you're dealing with Candida, to eliminate all grains and no cheese until you get to stage 2.
There you go. All right. I wonder if spelt flour is okay. It's a grain, I think.
Yeah, because grains can break down and feed the organisms better with proteins and vegetables.
All right. All
okay.
right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
I got it. Thank you.
We're here to support you.
I'm calling you tomorrow.
We are looking for coaches. We're looking for coaches, and I predict in about 2 or 3 months you'll become one of our coaches. Okay?
Well, I wouldn't mind at all, but only if I can feel good enough to retain anything from 1 minute to the next.
Keep working at it. We're here. We're here to support you. We'll get you there.
All righty. All right. Thanks a lot. I really need it right now.
Is your active participation at home. That's all we need.
All right. And I've really got to sterilize this place. It's just indefinite.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, I've got so many questions. I need to adjust my whole living situation. I'm dealing with 2 disabilities. I consider the parasites one thing, and then my bone structure is the other that prohibits me from doing a lot that I would like to do. The physical things of disinfecting my living quarters, so much of that is beyond me physically because of an old injury that's come back to haunt me when I was driving my car and had an accident at a very high rate of speed in 1964. And
so you're lucky to be alive, but
yes.
Unfortunately, what we need and we don't have is we need a philanthropist who's got some millions of dollars to sympathize with us and help people, because what you need is somebody who will come in on a daily basis and take care of your area and disinfect things for you and do a lot of chores for you. Unfortunately, we can't extend that far, but that's what we could use, a philanthropist who could, donate some financial resources to help many of us. There are people who live out of automobiles because they can't afford a place to live. They can't afford food.
Well, who's got an automobile? I've been thinking I'd like to run away, go to a very salty coast on the Gulf of Mexico or somewhere, live in a tent so I don't have all this household stuff to deal with, and make arrangements for food and all the other stuff. Then it would be possible not having to take care of every nook and cranny. But I really need the electrostatic sprayer, the computer, and a car, and without those things, and all my friends are aging out and leaving me here, and I'm wondering why I'm not going to this better world that people talk about. I don't know whether there is one or not, but I sure would like a better world than the one I have, because fighting it for as long as I have has not put me ahead. I'm not making headway. I'm spinning my wheels, all the progress. And then I had one very good thing happen to me lately, but the wonderful man I was living with for a couple of months got a call to be mayor of another city, and so that ended that. He also, well, anyway, he has other possibilities. One's a movie with these people from California, but those are all dream situations that I won't be able to participate in. But it was a beautiful, lovely 2 months just having somebody here who was not susceptible to this plague, this parasite business, just somebody to share work with, somebody to be close to, which I had missed, hadn't realized it, but, and then all of a sudden, overnight, it all disappeared. We had to go take the responsibility, and a very heavy responsibility. Shortly after he left, I learned that the town was having to drink water out of bottles, so they had a big problem to start him off with. But anyway, I just miss all of the easiness, the sweetness, the somebody to say I love you to, and to say it to me. I hadn't had that for a long time, and then suddenly it's gone. My computer dies. Everything quits. This Russia thing turns into a big, big nightmare. It could end life on Earth as we know it, at worst. And it's hard to keep going on when you're by yourself and you've been dropped from your normal social life because you don't have a car and you can't get around and you have to isolate. So I'm hoping that I can find a creative philanthropist who will exchange ideas with me about how to work my way out of this at age 84.
I thank you for sharing. I feel deeply for your situation. I'm totally at loss for words. It's something that none of us want to find ourselves in a situation where we're limited to any degree whatsoever. These organisms are limiting enough. Add in everything else that you've endured, just makes it kind of like over the top. Thanks for sharing. Cross our fingers. Maybe one day we will find a philanthropist and you'll be on the list.
Well, I have a couple in mind. I'm fortunate that I have, through my lifetime, my work and so forth, I've had a lot of contacts. So I do know some people that could possibly be helpful, and I'm going to work that. Most of my relatives are dead, except for a younger set of them, and they just had a baby, a very appealing baby, and here I sit, just lucky to be alive. I suppose I'm lucky. I don't feel lucky at times. I'm just doing the best I can, and that's not terribly good. It's not high quality these days, but I am trying my best.
Well, thank you, Marie. We'll pray for you. All of us will have you in our thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. That sounds powerful. I appreciate that. I don't know very many people who are praying for me now, not many left.
We have you in our thoughts. Thank you.
I know I'm not supposed to interrupt, but is there any way I could speak to Maria later? Because I totally understand what she's talking about.
Yeah, when we get to another segment, we'll stop recording and you can communicate with her.
Carrie from California. I've been on and off the line for a while, but I'm doing okay. I know I'm in the long haul. Maria, we're all in this together. We just want to get well and think for ourselves and do the best that we can. I just wanted I'm hearing everybody, I'm going through it myself. I know when I first started with this, I just stopped thinking. And so now I'm like one of the most creative persons you can imagine, because I'm still going through it, but I'm living a life most people don't even know what the heck, they have no clue. So I just wanted to add some things that's helped me. And I'm going to start with the shower. I can take a shower right now. I can't take a bath, but when I take a shower, before I get out, I always leave a cup of diatomaceous earth on the side, and while my skin is wet, I just gently rub that in, because if you rub it in and continue to rub it in, it will take your skin off. So I just gently rub that all over my skin. And before I even get into bed, I bought one of those long rollers we have a Chinese store here called Daiso. They have those hair rollers for dogs and cats. It comes on a long stick where you can roll the floor. That has helped a lot. And of course, I have the sprayer. I always spray. I always dust the floor before I go to bed. And before I take that shower, I have to take that shower and get right in that bed. I can't go nowhere else and do nothing else, or it will be in the bed. My bed, when I wake up in the morning, I shake my sheets out. If I had a bad night, I wash my sheets. I've been putting dead sea salt and diatomaceous earth together in my shakers. I even soak my socks in there, because ammonia and all kind of not disinfectants, but insecticides. I think you guys remember I was telling you in the shower, I felt like I could have died one night. So I have to really kind of think outside the box. I've also invested in plastic caps. You can get like 100 for like $5 or $6 off of Amazon. When I'm walking around, I always have a plastic cap on, disguise it with something else, but I keep it plastic on my hair, and that really, really helps. And I always keep my phone in a Ziploc bag, So I just wanted to share those things with you guys. Hopefully it'll make your life a little easier. Like I said, before you go in the room, use that roller and roll everything around. The lady who spoke about that sprayer, I have two. One actually broke because I put the wrong thing in it and clogged it, but use that sprayer. My garage is my biggest area, and everybody goes in the garage and comes back in the house. I'm the only one in the house out of 4 people who feels this. So I go all around the garage and do what I have to do. And before I couldn't come out here, but now I'm out here in the garage. I've already used my sprayer. I've dusted the floor. I put diatomaceous earth in the dryer. I put it in the washing machine. Like he said, try not to inhale it. When you do your sheets in the morning, get out the bed, shake them out, lay some diatomaceous earth, and fold the sheet. Put the clothes that you wear to bed, put them in the bed, fold it down so nothing can drop on it.
This is what you do. This is what you do, right?
This is what I'm doing, and I'm sleeping 8-9 hours. The only thing that pisses me off is that I have to get up and use the bathroom. If I don't have to get up and use the bathroom, I can sleep even longer. But once I get up, that's it, because they've already did what they had to do for the night. I think a while back on one of my testimonies, I was telling you that I have been exposed to too much insecticide and ammonia. I mean, I don't know if you remember that, I literally knew I could have passed away from what was going on. So I have to use other methods, and I put diatomaceous earth in my shoes. When I come home from wearing my shoes, I have house shoes, and I have a shoe that I wear only in my bedroom. I put diatomaceous earth in my shoes. I put them in a bag, a thick bag, like when you get from the dollar store or something. Two if you have to tie it down, so that when I get ready to go back out the next time, I don't feel anything. And I always wear long socks. I don't care, summer, winter. Put the diatomaceous earth in the socks. I wet my hands and put it in sea salt and put the sea salt in on the sock and in the sock. And it's really been helping.
Great.
So hopefully that helps somebody. And Robin, like I said, I had a long one-on-one with her and one of my partners, and the light bulb just went off because, like Richard says, when we get sick, you really stop thinking, but you have to be creative. Plastic bag on my hair, I can do everything all day long. I feel normal. I just wanted to feel normal, and that's really important. Even though I'm still fighting with my doctors who, whatever. But we have to take care of ourselves, and we have to be creative. So I hope that helps somebody.
Yes, thank you very much for sharing. Keep coming back.
Thank you.
You've gotten the diet to kick in, right?
Yes. But
That's...
my thing is I put everything in storage. And then as I keep going through stuff and opening up stuff, surprise, and it's like, oh my God. So our garage, we have a 4-car garage, and all my stuff came from storage. So it just kind of like started all over, but little by little. And like I said, the floor, you can't see the diatomaceous earth. The floor has a dusting of powder. You can put it in a spray bottle and spray it. You can use the roller for the ceiling and see what's up there. I've been very, very, very creative, and I'm a glass artist, and I have 3 kilns, and I'm out here right now working in my kiln in this garage with a plastic bag over my head, my socks. I have a sweater that's got a safety pin up to my neck. When I come out of here, I take all of those clothes off, put them in a bag, and then go put on my house clothes, and I walk around like normal. But you know what we're going through. It ain't normal, but I can't cry no more. I'm not suicidal, and I know who I am. I know what I was before this, and I want that back, and I'm fighting to get it back.
And you will.
I want everybody to fight and fight whatever it takes to get normal. Do it.
Well, now that you got the diet to kick in, you're going downhill. That's the good news. No more uphill.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing. Keep coming back.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
That being creative is an important aspect. We talked about that when we get into stress management, because when we're anxious, when we're worried, when we're stressed out, we're not very creative. And that's why we have a stress management component. Thank you.